Hi there, folks, and welcome to TV Tuners. It's a television podcast for the true fanatics. It's a weekly dive in the latest in TV news and reviews. I'm your host, Swanson. With me, as always, is my co-host and a guy who's fallen out of an airplane, Stairmaster.
Oh no!
That's the sound you make. Uh-oh.
Spoilers, but we do get to see the guy fall out of the helicopter in a flashback, and he doesn't actually make any sounds.
Yeah,
He just haha, I can't wait. I wonder what the big guy's gonna do to you. And the big guy's Jack Reacher.
It's a little weird, too, because if I was thrown out of a helicopter, I probably would still be making sounds, even if I was acting cool beforehand.
Well, he also got his legs broken with a crowbar, so we probably were too tired to make noises.
Fair. And with us, as always, of course, our other co-host and guy who's reporting to a mysterious individual, Kyoran.
Herc from The Wire, Kyoran.
Our plan is working.
Oh.
Continue on to phase 2.
No, that's the guy who's being reported to.
Oh,
it's Robert Patrick.
Yeah, we wanted you to be the guy from The Wire.
Okay.
Hey, look at the big guy. There's a big guy, and he's got a...
Look at the bigness of this dude. Look at the size of this dude.
He's carrying so much Stromboli. New York stuff.
He's walking.
Where's
Yeah,
Wallace?
he's a big guy.
Classic Herc line. Anybody who watched The Wire, of course, knows the classic Herc line, "Where's Wallace?"
Herc doesn't really have classic lines. Like,
No.
He'll create classic situations where he fucks up, but...
Yeah, he's more of a classic situation creator. A classic sort of fuck-up man.
Like, remember when he was trying to move the desk? And he was
Classic.
pushing while Carver was pulling?
Who could
And they got
forget?
help from like 6 separate guys before they figured that out?
One of the things about The Wire that's underrated is that it also is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to another exciting edition of the show. I'm your host, Swanson. We're here once again. The holidays are coming to an end, and the year is
It's so
winding
over.
down.
I'm so
The
sad.
fact is, this is the final show of the year for us. Next time you hear us, we'll be recapping the year of our Lord 2023.
So many memories that we've lost and won't be commenting upon.
Yes, yeah. As many have noticed, COVID has ravaged our brains and eaten away at our souls, even if we never had it.
Hey guys, remember when Stairmaster ruined Christmas?
I'm sure it happened. But as always, of course, if you're listening to the pod and you have any quips, comments, questions, foresights, otherwise, well, why not send them into our email address and we can read it aloud on the podcast?
What?
It's true. All you got to do is go over to tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com and send your emails there. What's that email address, Kyoran?
tvtunerspodcast@gmail.ocean.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. You could be like Gio, who sent us this email. Fellas. So I put my Kingdom Hearts 3 on eBay, as you do. It sold for $150.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's $1.50.
Oh. Oh, never mind.
Who came out on top here? Me or the buyer? Good luck with the TV podcast thing, Gio.
Now, Kingdom Hearts 3, that's gotta be like 100 hours, right?
Yeah, I would say.
And meanwhile, $1.50.
That's, I mean, you make that pretty quick if you have any
Did they
job.
pay shipping on that?
I'm assuming, probably.
Yeah, but that's not going to
know how eBay
Geo,
works.
so...
The shipping is going to be more than the cost of the actual item.
But you're paying for the ability to say that you got Kingdom Hearts 3 for $1.50. Anyway, I would say that you both won out because you got to play the game that we all love.
Yeah, it's good to just let those games spread across the world. Everybody should play their favorite games.
Have you played any good video games lately, fellas?
No.
I played Cyberpunk 2077.
Because of the new
Did they
expansion
fix
thing.
all those problems?
Yeah, I fixed all those problems.
Nice.
It only took them 3 years.
How did you toggle that dick in the creator settings?
No, I played as a girl so I could just look down and see
Oh,
breast whenever I felt like.
It's the way to play.
Ford?
I guess I could have toggled dick on, but the breast would have gotten in the way regardless, so it didn't really matter.
That's it. There
Were you
was a
running
dick
around, like,
on and
nude?
dick off button.
Yeah. I think you can like customize your penis a bit.
I would hope, it is the future. Anyway, according to vaunted website howlongtobeat.com, Kingdom Hearts 3 averages out to be 29 hours and 7 minutes with just main story. Main story and extras, 40 hours, 39 minutes.
And how much did it cost at launch?
$60.
Whoa. Is that going to cut it in today's economy? 40 hours for $60?
I mean, yeah, there's shorter games for sure.
Well, Cyberpunk is like 100 million hours.
True. I mean,
And it's got Keanu Reeves and Idris Elba.
people want longer games. It's true.
And it's
People's
got
many are
music.
saying this.
It's also got
Doesn't have
music.
Disney characters?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, what if I told you could play in Frozen Land?
Yeah, it's like a dreadful experience of watered down Frozen.
Yeah, what if I told you that
How
you could
does
listen
wa-
to Sora sing "Let It Snow"?
How do you water down Frozen, Keo? Because
"Let It Go" is what I meant to say.
Oh,
What do you mean, how do you water down Frozen?
yeah. Frozen doesn't seem like it's a very potent.
Yeah, you can still water down something that's already, like, not very potent.
Is there like some sort of edge to Frozen that I'm not aware of? That they dulled?
I mean, it's like you take the original Frozen and then you just kind of add Sora into the scene and he's, like, spectating it.
He's like,
Yeah, and
wow,
also
these
there's,
girls
like-
sure make good friends or whatever.
There's also like Heartless and like other enemies there,
Yeah.
and Goofy's going good.
It's like watching Frozen, but the animation is not good, and Sora's there.
Do you get to meet Homer?
Right. No, I
Not
don't
yet.
think no Simpsons properties yet, but I imagine if they're smart, he'll be in Kingdom Hearts 4.
There's going to be a Homer Simpson with a keyblade in one hand and a lightsaber in the other.
And on the end of that lightsaber, a donut.
Yeah,
He's eating it.
that's the future we have to look forward to now that Disney owns everything.
He's like eating a donut and he's like burning himself with the lightsaber while he does it. He's like, donut.
Well, maybe not for long. Considering how the MCU's doing, am I right?
Well, they'll just add Homer to that too.
Yeah, when they get real desperate, they're going to start doing crossovers.
Instead of the King Dynasty, it's King and Kodos Dynasty.
Of course. Where else could you go from,
Are the Marvel movies not doing good in the box office anymore?
No,
Yeah, they haven't really performed to the measures that you would expect because they all cost $200 million now.
And they got rid of the two most famous, biggest guys they had.
Right. A lot
You
of
had
it
to make a really big movie.
A lot of it is just sort of bloat in terms of how much they cost to make. Like the latest like Marvel's movie or whatever costs like 200 million something to make, and then like their return on investment is not. They're
What
not
is
getting any
Marvel?
real. Yeah.
I don't even know what Marvels is about. Except that there's
Well,
women in
Marvel-
it.
And that was enough for him to turn away.
Apparently it is enough for the nation to turn away.
It was actually, the funny thing is that it was actually the shortest Marvel movie because it was under 2 hours. But the budget was about $274.8 million.
That's a lot of women.
And it made only about $205 million. So that's like a straight up bomb. I think some of the other movies that have come out this year have done better. Like, I know Guardians of the Galaxy 3 still was like a good movie for them, but that's to be expected, you know. Also,
yeah,
the dude who made that movie is not doing any more Marvel movies. So,
Jonathan Majors.
yeah, that's right. R.I.P. He died, right? That's what happened.
Yeah.
Don't ask any more questions about what happened to him.
Yeah, they got to... Their only hope is to do the Master and Commander cinematic universe.
Yeah.
That's what people want nowadays.
I think the most egregious that I've seen is the last Doctor Strange movie was $294 million, like the budget. Now it made a decent amount. I think it broke.
Oh yeah,
even,
they got
but-
Tom Cruise in that bitch.
Yeah, he probably skyrocketed the budget on his own.
50 million at least.
But yeah, to Keo's point, the only thing that actually underperformed was the Marvels. Most of it is just that the quality is pretty obviously bad, and people are starting to realize that. Like, the baseline quality has fallen below
Well,
the standards of the public.
also you had a story that ended with Avengers Endgame, and I don't really know what the story is here. In Phase
Yeah.
7 or whatever the fuck they're on.
True. Anyway, back to, in a way, you know, we sort of can loop back around to Gio's question here, because Kingdom Hearts is sort of the original MCU.
Just want to.
You know, if we
Yeah,
ignore
7.
stuff like Super Robot Wars and the Toho Monsterverse.
Yes, that's right. That's what I'm doing.
But really, they really set themselves up for like a peak there with Endgame. They literally called their movie Endgame, and then
Yeah.
they tried to make more movies after that.
Yeah, it's not great. Anyway, thank you for that response, Gio. I have some really solid Google automated responses for Gio here. Let's see what you guys think.
Okay.
This first one I think is maybe my favorite. Sold.
Okay, I want to hear the others, but I like that one a lot.
Middle one. This feels like maybe it's a little patronizing. Haha, thanks.
No, we're not mean like that.
This last one seems confused about the questions being asked. I sold it.
Well, that is interesting. I am a bit intrigued by the prospect of sending that one.
Like it makes Gio question if he was actually the seller all along, or if I'm getting that 150.
But Solda is pretty funny.
That last one, though, really is going to make Gio have to consider things. He's
I
going to have to
think-
really.
Yeah, I think we should go with it.
All right, send that out real quick to Gio. Thank you once again, Gio, for if you want to send out your emails and be included in that spot, maybe get an automated response via Google. tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com. That's where you send your emails.
That's right.
With all that out of the way, what'd you guys watch this week? Anything fun, interesting, something you want to talk about?
Oh, I've been watching Jujutsu Kaisen, the latest shonen phenomena to sweep over the youth of the nation.
Yes,
That's been like a thing for like over a year now.
Yeah. Well,
But
okay.
go off, King.
Hey. Keel, you don't even watch shit, so fuck off.
Okay, I'm just letting the audience know that Stairmaster is really not on top of his anime.
Well,
apparently.
to be fair, I did read the manga like a year ago, and then I dropped
And
it
we don't-
after like a couple
we don't talk about
hours.
manga. Okay, well, are you enjoying it in an animated format better?
I am enjoying the material that is presented to me, yes.
But is it better than the manga?
I think the first season probably is. The second season, there is a whole specter of them working the animators to the point of mental breakdowns and worker walkouts.
Ooh.
Oh, don't worry about it. Oh, come on.
Shake it off, Judge. Just, get over it. Just get over it.
But it is pretty
guys.
cool when they're punching and kicking each other. It's all choreographed.
So you would say this
Sounds
is
pretty
cool.
hype.
Yes.
Good time.
Yeah, I thought about watching this program, but then I'm just like,
It's like
I'm tired.
if a guy looked
Uh-huh.
at Bleach and was like, I can do better, and also he's a big Hunter x Hunter fan.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Look, I'm
And
already
also he
on board
likes
now.
Tsukihime.
Oh yeah, my favorite.
Yeah, your favorite.
Did
The official TV Tuners visual novel of the year, Tsukihime, a piece of a bluegrass moon.
So did he do better than Bleach?
Yeah.
Oh damn.
First off, the Urahara character is like constantly hanging out with the main cast.
Okay, yeah, that's what you
Yeah.
want. Instead of just sort of off doing something else.
Yeah. Second off, the Orihime figure actually gets into fights.
Okay. What about the Chad figure?
The Chad figure has... I don't think there is
really
a Chad
having a-
figure.
Oh,
Because
I don't know if
for-
I don't know if I can watch this one.
Because it's also part Naruto.
Okay, so it's just
Part-
sort of
so it's
you know,
like
a little
you got a Naruto,
right.
you got a Sasuke, and you got a Sakura. Except she's cool and good. And she clearly looks like Orihime.
Okay, so it's following the classic Shonen Jump sort of trio model.
I would say
Yeah.
I don't see any like strong One Piece influence in there.
Okay.
But also, the guy's got an evil guy inside him.
Ooh.
But one of the interesting thing is, it's like a complete
Just like
liability
me, for
and
real,
never
for real.
help, and it has not been of any use to him whatsoever.
So it's like the opposite of Naruto with the
Yeah.
Fox thing.
He's like,
Yeah,
please
so-
help me, give me power. He's like, no, I'm gonna watch you suffer.
Yeah, that's probably more accurate to what an evil guy would do if they were inside of you.
Yeah, the whole I got a strong guy inside of me thing is such a cop out.
And also, in the show, people will not do one-on-ones if they don't have to. Like, they will do the gang beat down if the opportunity presents itself.
Okay, no honor.
Yeah.
So that's a tune in on.
That's a tune-in.
Yeah.
Okay,
All
maybe
right.
I'll watch it. I'll think about it.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah, what else there?
Oh, there's
What else did you
also a
watch?
tall girl with glasses who wields a staff.
She hot.
Okay,
That's cool.
tell me more.
Well, she's kind of a bit stern,
Okay, so that's doing it for some people.
but kind of cool at the same time.
All right. Stern mommy, check.
Well, I don't think you could say she's a... Okay. There's also a guy who's a panda.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
He can
I'm in.
transform into a gorilla.
You son of a bitch.
He's still got the outside of a panda.
I'm in.
Okay. And there's a guy who's a paraplegic, so he just built himself a cursed robot body that walks around for him.
It's like that.
I'm on board.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I let this slip before, but me, I'm on board.
And the mentor guy wears a blindfold but can clearly see around him. And is also the strongest guy ever. To the point where
you said a guy whose name is Panda, but you didn't mention that his name is... Or you said that there's a guy who's a panda, but you didn't mention that his name is also just Panda.
Well, I don't want to give away everything, okay?
Why doesn't the blindfold guy just solve all the problems?
You know, he does solve a fair amount of them. In fact, the entire plot of the show so far has been the bad guys plotting to get rid of the blindfold guy because he is so overwhelmingly powerful and cool.
Well, yeah, I would want to get rid of him too. Or make out with him,
like in the second episode when he's doing the exposition drop, he's like, if you get all 20 of the MacGuffins, the evil guy might be able to escape. Would you be able to beat him? Yeah.
I appreciate
it's like, he's literally like, I might get tired. And then you see him fight and you're like, oh yeah, okay.
Nice. So that's a tune in on Jujutsu Kaisen, is that?
Well, you got it! Ding ding!
Alright.
We don't have to bully Swanson today.
Anything else there?
No.
Alright. Bypassing Kyo here, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, he doesn't get to talk about what he watched.
Yeah, I don't get to talk about what I watched.
Yeah,
because you were mean to me earlier.
All the great things that he watched.
Well, what did I do?
You were mean to me. You tormented me.
I don't think I was mean. Except for when I punched you in the gut, making you double over in pain.
Yeah, that was pretty mean. You have to admit.
Okay. That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Considering all the tummy problems that Stairmaster has, to do that to cause him tummy
honestly,
pain.
that probably helped me with some of my tummy problems.
Like set things.
Yeah, I was being
on the track, back on track.
Balance is restored.
I have two things to talk about, so I'm going to talk about the thing I have less to say first. I watched a movie titled 3,000 Years of Longing. It's the latest movie from Mad Max creator George Miller.
Didn't that come out like last year? Or like a year before that?
Yeah, it came out last year. It's like a fairy tale. Idris Elba plays a djinn.
So yeah, this has like been a thing for a year.
That's right, and I watched it now. So what?
See, there's a difference there where somebody...
Hey.
where somebody says, hey, check out this fresh new thing I watched. Versus Swanson just saying he watched it. He didn't say it was new.
Well, I said it was sweeping the youth.
I guess I did say I did say the latest project, so that implies a certain newness.
I guess so. Okay, I'm saying it has already swept the youth. The youth have been swept by...
I'm saying the tide hasn't receded yet.
Oh, it's still going strong and picking up more... Okay, I got you.
Yeah. Anyway, this is, as you might expect, because George Miller's behind it, this movie, the direction in this movie is excellent. Just great stuff all around. The story's a little weak. Basically, Tilda Swinton is a narratologist who studies the various fables and whatnot, and accidentally comes upon a djinn, who is Idris Elba, and she's very skeptical because she thinks he's trying to trick her. So he tells her the story of his life, and it goes through a sort of an anthology style of a couple different of the 3 times that he was trapped back in his bottle. It's a good. It's good. It kind of falls apart in the third act because they do. It goes. It gets away from the storytelling aspect, and it sort of doesn't all connect in the way that I want it to. But hey, that it looks great the entire time, and Idris Elba's great.
He's a sexy genie.
Yeah, he's a pretty sexy genie.
Is he shirtless?
Yeah, for the majority of it.
But his bottom half is like a wisp of smoke coming out of the bottle.
Yeah.
The jar.
Yeah, his it alternates between his bottom half being like a smoky blackness and then like him occasionally having like what looks like legs, depending on how out of the bottle he is.
Legs.
I'm so out of the bottle right now, you guys.
You guys wouldn't even understand if I was out of it. But nah, it's a good time. I'd give it a tune in, despite the problems. Now for what I have to talk about more in depth. I got around to watching the 60th anniversary specials of Doctor Who.
Oh. Yeah, my dad has been talking about that nonstop.
So I haven't watched Doctor Who since, I don't know, 2018.
So, Matt Smith?
No, this was right when Capaldi left. So right when Jodie Whittaker took over. Not because a woman was in charge, everybody, okay? Put the pitchforks down. It's because the story sucked ass.
Yeah, I stopped watching after David Tennant.
Fair. Well, good news there. David Tennant's back. Or he was for these 3 episodes. So yeah, needless to say, in the time since I've been away, Doctor Who has been on a downswing. The program's changed showrunners, and the new showrunner was bad, let's say. Let's just be kind about it. It's the kindest I can put it.
Let me be clear. Bad. He was not good at his job. He had no merit.
Let me be clear. His scripts were trash. And he retconned things that he probably shouldn't have. Yeah, he did his thing for, I don't know, the last 3 or 4 years. And then they announced that they were bringing back the OG showrunner from when the show restarted again in 2005. And we're bringing back David Tennant for a series of specials.
But not Christopher Eccleston.
No, I think Christopher Eccleston doesn't want to do it. I think he's fine, just not, you know? But yeah, they brought back David Tennant, and from a faraway glance, when I heard this news this time last year, I was like, wow, that reeks of desperation. But then as we were getting closer and closer to these specials dropping in November, I was like, let me tune in. Let me watch the first one. I'll give the first one a shot. And listen, that David Tennant, he still got it. Turns out he's a pretty good actor.
That's probably why he went to go do like movies and TV shows. Well, I guess mostly just other TV shows.
Yeah, other TV shows where he was like the best part of them.
Yeah.
Jessica Jones. But he does a really good job here. He's playing. So the way this all works out in weird Doctor Who terms is that he is playing, as anyone who knows anything about Doctor Who, of course, he regenerates, which is their excuse to get different people in and keep the show fresh. When Jodie Whittaker left, she transformed or regenerated back into David Tennant. But this is a different version. This isn't the old David Tennant. So
yeah, this is the Purple Man.
Sort of. He's playing a different version of his version of the Doctor. So he's a good enough actor to, one, nail this, that it feels like a different version. But also, it's just fun. It's a fun time. Having the old showrunner back feels like, oh, they're going to retread stuff, but it feels like the guy clearly spent some time thinking of, oh, these cool stories would be fun to tell. So he has some new ideas, which is nice. Yeah, I think they're all a little fun. Neil Patrick Harris shows up at the last one, playing some old Doctor Who villain that I'd never heard of before. It's goofy fun. The new guy, of course, shows up at the end. I'm not going to try and pronounce his name and butcher it, but he's great. He already looks like he's going to be a fun role, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I think my faith has been restored, and I'm definitely interested in whatever new Doctor Who product comes out my way.
And let's be clear, Doctor Who could not beat Gojo.
Very true.
The Doctor Who fight, guys?
No.
Also, the
he
show's
sort of like
very
just runs
easy to
around.
find again. Yeah.
And the problem
solves itself.
Also, it helps that the show is easy to find again. It's on Disney Plus, so it's just super easy to access, which is helpful. Tune in. And that's it for me, and I think that's it for the segment, unless
come on, Keo. Come on, Keo.
Unless there's anything coming out of the woodwork here that I don't know about.
Come on, Keo. Tell us what you watched.
Yeah, I watched an animated program.
What's it called?
I watched the Frieren.
Frieren, the funeral after a journey's end.
The who, what, and when?
Yeah, it's an anime. It's about like a fantasy setting. There's like this elf. She's like hanging out. All of her friends are dead. It's pretty.
Yeah, the hero's party, and the elf is like the last one who's alive. Decades after the adventure ended.
And so what? It's just like them being depressed the whole time?
No, it's not depressing. Well, not that depressing.
It's melancholic.
Yeah, it's
sort of wistful, I think.
Keo's over here watching sad boy programming.
It's not really sad boy. It's not like, hey guys, I'm really sad, I'm crying. It's like, it's also very hopeful too. I only watched the first 2 episodes, but I enjoyed what I saw. It's got great animation, good characters. The setting is so far not really particularly interesting, but
could she beat Gojo?
From what I've seen, no, but I've heard apparently she's pretty strong. I don't know. She hasn't really done too much in the first 2 episodes of the program. What I'm hearing about Gojo is he's like pretty strong, like he's pretty OP. He's like One Punch Man, but he's like in a different setting.
No, he doesn't punch good.
Ooh,
he's in a different setting, so it's not really about punching. But,
no, there's plenty of guys who punch.
But it's not about punching. I don't know what he does, but he's the equivalent of One Punch Man in their universe. John One Punch Man.
I would say it's closer to like Gold Experience Requiem. If Gold Experience Requiem had rules. And wasn't just made up horseshit.
You mean like, what does Gold Experience Requiem do? With it's like a time power. We can just kind of.
It's like the opposite of King Crimson. Instead of King Crimson removing effects, Gold Experience. So like Gold Experience will remove the end instead of like the middle. So like if it kills you, you're dying, but you never pass on. So you're just stuck in an infinite loop of getting hit by cars and pecked to death by birds and whatnot for all of eternity.
Yeah. And my point is he's pretty strong.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this elf lady is that strong. I don't think she is.
All right, there's a tune in.
Yeah, it's a tune-in.
All right. With all that out of the way, it's time for the news. I only have one major news item for us to talk about, and true to our slow descent into being mostly an anime podcast, it's about One Piece.
Oh.
Okay.
One Piece, of course, beloved anime and manga. It's,
Asterisk.
had a live action Netflix adaptation that we've discussed on the pod numerous times. And it seems Netflix wants to keep that train rolling because they've announced that that One Piece will be receiving a new anime adaptation set to stream globally on Netflix.
Yeah, this was sorely needed.
Years ago.
Yeah, like Swanson, you have no idea how bad the anime situation got.
Is there just like way too much filler?
Yes, I feel like it got like Naruto levels of bad.
Ooh. Did they?
No,
yeah.
Okay,
Naruto got a little bit worse since it was Toei.
Yeah, there's two paths you can take when it comes to filler. Okay, the first path is you run out of material, so you just start making stuff up, and it goes on for a really long time, like Naruto did.
Yes, or the Dragon Ball Z route, where you pad out the fight scenes.
And just everything you can, so that it starts to get to the point where, like, instead of adapting like 10 chapters or whatever per episode, it's like to the point where they're adapting like 2 per episode, something like that. If you're
lucky.
If you're lucky.
I think they got down to like 1 chapter per episode for Marineford, which was especially grating since that's like the biggest, most epic battle.
It got to the point where fans had to re-edit the series so that it was paced decently, which I don't know how they even managed to do that.
Like a Dragon Ball Kai situation?
Yeah.
Well, Dragon Ball Kai was something like 2.1 episodes into 1 episode. I think One Piece, the Marineford stuff was something like more like 3.
That's wild. So it's just a very slow show is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
It didn't start out that way, but it got that way over time.
They got really bad like after the 300 episode mark.
Well, perhaps this new anime will scratch the itch that fans have been wanting with the series. Titled The One Piece, the series is going to be produced by Wit Studio, which were behind something called Spy X Family and the first 3 seasons of Attack on Titan.
Yeah, Spy X Family is a program that really swept the youths.
I watched 3 episodes of it. It was amusing.
Swept as in it's over now? They're in Fortnite?
Yeah, it's definitely over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's completely done as far as I know. I didn't check.
The Netflix has announced that the new series will take Luffy's adventures all the way back to the East Blue Saga, aka pretty much the start. But yeah, that's mostly all of the details we have currently. It seems as if, as you might expect, One Piece's creator is behind this as well. He'll be involved, so should be, a good time. We'll see. I don't know. Or how do you feel about not having to sift through 11,000 episodes?
I wasn't going to do that anyways.
1,100 episodes is what I meant, but yeah.
I'm happy about this. Like, I was never the One Piece guy, but this is good news.
Yes, you are. You're the One Piece guy of the podcast, Keo.
Like, I've got the most One Piece energy out of the group.
You've got the most One Piece experience.
Well, you talked about watching One Piece the most.
But you didn't even read a bunch of the manga?
Yeah, but I didn't talk about it on the pod.
Yeah, you're the one who's discussed One Piece the most on the pod, on episodes that weren't titled One Piece.
Yeah, it was in the What Did You Watch This Week segment where you basically... You guys don't see this, listeners at home, but Swanson does have a whole waterboarding station set up for when he didn't watch anything. And I had been waterboarded every week that I didn't say anything.
That's just a drink station?
With towels.
It's where you go and get a drink.
Hey, Swanson, I'm feeling a bit parched. Can you take me up?
Yeah, here you go.
Thanks.
Oh,
See, stays refreshed.
wow, he's quenched.
Just because you don't like the water.
My thirst meter is full, Gordon.
I just don't like the towel you put over my face when you hydrate me.
Well, I can do it with anything other than water. I mean, the towel kind of has to be there. It's kind of the point. Like, I could do milk.
I don't think the milk would get through the towel very well.
I could do, like some soda.
I just would like there to not be a towel, but that's just my humble opinion that there shouldn't
Iced
be a
tea
towel.
or lemonade, but not both.
Well, why
Can I
would
have
it be
caffeinated
both?
lemonade?
Like, you put them together.
Yeah, but why?
Why? Because it's
Yeah,
a
why?
delicious, tasty beverage.
So why not then?
I'm just not going to go through the trouble of putting it together.
He's not going to spoil me. He's just getting me hydrated.
This is a drink station, It's like a little...
And no Gatorade, only Powerade.
That's right. We can't afford... We're not sponsored by Gatorade. We're not sponsored by Powerade either, but we could be. Like, it's more likely than us being sponsored by Gatorade.
I just want to quietly say that it does feel like I'm going to die when you're giving me my beverage.
I'm just imagining a Powerade bottle, Swanson's face on it, and he's got like a deer on the headlights look.
Yeah, that's likely. Because Gatorade would never do that, so that's what I'm saying. Powerade, they would.
Okay, what about this? Here's a commercial for Powerade. All right, just listen to my vision, and you guys are going to be on board. So it's going to show Swanson at home in the afternoon, and he like stretches and looks out the window and like sees people out in the street jogging, and he turns to like this bottle of Powerade, and like he drinks like a fourth of it, and then puts it down, and then he goes to bed.
Yeah, I think this is a great campaign.
Wait, what time of day is it? What time of day is it?
It's like the middle of the day.
It's a great campaign.
Yeah, it's old.
I think every bottle of Powerade purchase should come with a free download of the TV Tuners podcast. Just a random episode.
Yeah, this free podcast will be given to them for free.
Yeah, it'll end up on their phones like that U2 album.
I'm on board with that. It's good advertising for the podcast.
Yeah, and it technically counts as downloads for us.
It does, yeah.
Anyway, the One Piece is going to come out eventually, I'm assuming. And that's it for the news, guys. Which means that there's only one thing left for us to talk about.
Who could beat Gojo?
Yeah, you want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, I think Jack Reacher could beat Gojo.
Oh, interesting.
with his analytical mind and sharp intellect.
Because not only is this guy big, he's smart.
He would deduce Gojo's power and then figure out how to circumvent it.
With his muscles, yeah.
And since Gojo's not good at punching, he could punch him.
That's right, we watched a show and now we're going to talk about it. Reacher follows Jack Reacher, a former U.S. military police major with extensive investigative and combat experience who now lives as a drifter, traveling from town to town across the United States. In the second season, Reacher is contacted by a former member of his defunct MP unit when one of their own is murdered under mysterious circumstances. Reacher and his partners must reassemble the old team to find the murderers and avenge their friend. Did Reacher give you the big muscles you need to take on this task, or did it throw you to your demise?
Well, I gotta say, I do like it when he hits people very hard. That is satisfying to see.
Yeah, true.
I will say I don't like the fact it's getting the band back together sort of plot line for this season. I like the books where he's just on his own, as a bunch of people like being astounded at his general existence.
Now, Stare, you have watched the first season of the show, which we did not cover. You said we should just jump right into the second one.
The first season, he's just going to a small town outside of Memphis. And he finds out his brother's been murdered. And he gets involved in a conspiracy involving the local law enforcement there.
Okay.
And Neely does show up in the back half of the season. Neely being the lady who sends him the ATM message at the start of this season.
Okay, so there's really only 2 returning characters. Keo and I have not watched the first season. I don't think at all.
No.
So I am interested, Keo, how this held up for you as sort of an introduction.
But all the books are standalone, generally.
I think it stands alone pretty well,
Yes.
but that's why I'm interested to see if Keo agrees.
I was confused. I'm like, who's this big heroic figure?
That's Jack Reacher.
Whoa.
Damn,
now I
that's who
understand.
that was? I was waiting the whole time for when Jack Reacher was going to show up. And it turns out he was there the whole time.
That's crazy. That big guy is Jack Reacher? What a legend. What a living legend he is. That's crazy. Thank you, Swanson.
You're welcome. Stare's the one who informed you, but I'm always happy to help.
Great job, Swanson.
Thanks. You've done it again, Swanson. Anyway, we open with Preacher's friend dying, getting thrown out of a plane, hitting a tree, dying instantly.
Helicopter.
Or, being thrown out of a helicopter. Different. Important.
Well, that's part of how they deduce what happened.
Yeah, important distinction.
If that was me, I would have survived.
Gojo would have... Gojo would have just teleported out of there.
I wouldn't have died because I'd be wearing my seatbelt. That's just a fact.
Yeah, they would try to throw you out of the chopper, but you would you'd have your seatbelt on. You would just be like, "Sorry, seatbelt's on."
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Unplug it? Unclip it? It's sort of a plug.
Yeah, it's a plug.
Anyway, this guy, we get introduced to Jack Reacher. He's at a thrift store. And I have a question here immediately, which is, how many thrift stores does this guy have to go to before he finds something in his size?
All of them.
Because he's not listen, I don't know if you guys noticed about Jack Reacher. He's not a small guy.
Some people will say he's large.
They call him Jack Reacher because you gotta reach to grab the top of him. Because he's so tall.
Makes sense. Yeah, he's not tiny, all right. So I feel like it's a little hard for him, but he's able to just sort of find what he needs, including a second jacket later. But anyway, it's a little fun back and forth between him and this cashier who doesn't give a shit about her job at all.
Zoomer, this millennial who's on her cell phone.
Yeah, this is for
probably a
Grampy
Gen
and Grandma.
Xer when this book was written.
Yeah, this is Grampy and Grandma right here. This is for them. But he's
Now, this is absolutely a show for dads, by the way. This is dadcore entertainment.
Yeah, this is I think the most dadcore thing we've watched since. I'm going to come back to this comparison. The Night Agent.
Okay, this book was April 27th, April 2007.
Okay,
So it
probably,
would be a millennial in the original source material.
Yeah, an elder millennial, but a millennial nonetheless. Yeah, so he goes to his ATM. He goes to the ATM, gets some
He sees
money
a
out.
woman hunched over,
Yeah.
awkwardly fidgeting with the... He sees her
Immediately-
reflection.
Yeah, he just sort of he deduces it real quick because, like I said,
Well, she's got a
he's not
black
only
eye,
buff,
I think.
he's smart,
She's got a black eye, and she's clearly terrified.
and he's like, "Let me guess, carjacking." And like,
He doesn't do like a Whedonism.
no,
He's
but
very straight. He's very professional.
he goes, he beats this guy up who's carjacking,
And the kid cheers him on.
No, the kid's crying.
No, the kid's like, ha ha.
I don't remember that at all, Stamash. I remember the kid being terrified the entire time.
The kid was crying, and then his mom showed up, and he was like momentarily crying less.
Maybe they edited it when you watched it.
Because the way you're describing it sounds unhinged.
That's what I thought. This is an unhinged thing for that kid to do.
I think there you just can't read the body language of children at all. Like,
well, also you can't see the child, really. You can just hear what the child is doing.
So, okay, he can't understand the cries of a child. He thinks that when a child is in distress, it's laughing.
Like, if a hungry child is whining, you're like, oh, this child is sated and filled.
Anyway, so Jack Reacher beats up this guy by wrapping his jacket around his fist and just punching through the car window. And then pulling him out and beating him down relentlessly.
Yeah, he goes to the ATM. He sees a little message, and he's sort of like
$1,000 deposit. Like,
yeah, it doesn't say anything about his friend's passing. It's just like he has to.
It's like an SOS.
Right. He like shakes his head, and he's like, huh. Pays for a new jacket, gives her the money, and then leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Cue New York City.
Okay, so the kid is on screen for like maybe 1.5 seconds. So maybe that's why I thought he was laughing.
Fair.
Because I had so little information to go off of. Obviously.
Understandable.
Post this to the screenshot to the Twitter and ask what they think. Is this a laughing or a crying
come on now.
child?
Let's not do this. Hey now.
Listen,
hey now. Come on, buddy. Come on, pal. Let's
Twitter poll. So yeah.
Unfortunately, I opened it again, and now I got a video unavailable error. So Amazon did not want us to do that.
I posted the screenshot for you here in chat.
Fuck. Oh, look, you can barely see the child's face in that screenshot.
I could vaguely see how you might see it as, like, laughter or, like, amusement at a situation.
If it was animated, it would be a much worse case for staying.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, we're in New York City. He gets the news. His friend has been chucked out of a helicopter. They sort of start deducing it right here and there because he's, a smart guy.
Yeah, he literally goes through all the angles, explains why he couldn't have been a plane. Because that would have been logged by the FAA. And he would have probably hit the tail if they threw him out the back, or the wing if they threw him out the side. And there would have been bruises.
Also, props to the autopsy guys. They did a good job on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, good work, honestly.
I mean, Jack Reacher did most of the work. I mean, they making the conclusions.
Okay, I'm just saying the autopsy was very thorough on this one.
Yeah,
was it not?
They weren't just like on their lunch, getting ready for their lunch.
Well,
I
think this is like what normal autopsy looks like, Keo.
They did a good job.
Listen, I'm not going to find out till I'm on the slab. And I'm looking at myself from on high or down below. Either's fine by me. Anyway, yeah, so Jack Reacher is being pursued not by one ominous guy, but by two ominous guys.
Which makes sense because he is the size of two men.
Yeah, so I guess you do need two ominous guys working for.
Well, that's the mistake you make. You're like, okay, we got two guys, we'll equal him, but you need to bring at least three guys to take him on.
Right, because equaling him still means he's going to win.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
Rookie
one
move
of these
there,
guys
honestly.
is one of these guys is Herc, right?
Yes. And he's like in awe of the size of this lad.
He's like, this is a pretty big guy. I don't know what to tell you. He's big. And the person he reports to is Robert Patrick.
No, that's the other guy who's reporting to Robert Patrick.
Oh, right. He
who isn't
Herc
from The Wire.
Yeah. Right, the non. Yeah, the other guy. I don't think we know what his deal is yet, right?
Robert Patrick, or the guy who's being phoned by
the guy, Herc. We don't know what Herc's deal is yet.
No, we don't know what his deal is yet. But if you know, just by the casting choice,
you can figure out he's probably a cop.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but Robert Patrick is in this, which we learn in a little bit. And yeah, I don't know how to explain.
You don't know how to explain it?
I mean, he's in here, and there's a Terminator reference in his only scene.
Oh, yeah. I don't think that... Yeah. That was very cringy.
And he says, I don't understand. Or he's like, never heard of it. Like, they say Terminator 2, and he's like, never heard of it.
Come on.
Don't
you have just had a scene of him jogging?
But also, who hasn't heard of Terminator?
Yeah.
One of the biggest action franchises ever.
Well, remember, this is written by a British guy. So who knows what's going on over there? A British guy trying to write about America and make fun of us.
I can imagine a guy who just does not care about movies, not knowing what Terminator is.
True. I mean, but you don't care about movies, and you know what Terminator is.
Well, I care about movies enough to have watched at least a couple dozen of them. I can imagine a guy who has never watched a whole movie except as a kid.
Like, this guy only cares about doing doing corrupt things and talking ominously on phones. Yeah, so they go to visit his the dead man's wife and child. And
what a weird TV program.
Yes, I have it in here too, which is, I have it in all caps, bananas.
I didn't have like the X-ray on it. This is but did you? Is this like a real TV program?
No, I don't know what was playing, if it was a real thing or not. I just know that they were talking about bananas and they were counting bananas.
Maybe this was like flavor text in a novel and they decided to adopt it faithfully.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
The author was shooting the shit, making the stupidest possible kids show.
I want to believe that it's a prime kid show that they're just sort of adding in for a little cross promotion.
Anyways, this wife's actor is trying to get the bread. She's trying to get work.
She really is. She's just trying to get it down, you know. But yeah, they basically find out that he had a good relationship with his wife. It's essentially what they don't learn anything crucial.
Yeah. So they go to his office.
Yeah, they learn that they also ransacked his office, which they probably could have found out from the police report.
Yeah. It seems like they didn't need to visit her, but they needed a scene where the little son says the line.
I think they needed this to, for the audience trying to figure out the mystery as they're going along.
True, since this is for, the NCIS crowd.
I love
Hey, now, come on, Jack Reacher's way cooler than
I love the
NCIS.
trope. I love the trope of the traumatized child who's just coloring and doesn't care about what's going on around him.
Listen, all he wants to do is color. The only thing that will give his life meaning is to color in the lines.
His dad's no longer in the lines, Keo. He has to make things right.
His dad is outside of the lines, and when you're outside of the lines, what are you?
We've seen this before, though, in a show, right? Where
Probably.
They're investigating and the child is just kind of coloring and doesn't seem upset at all.
I think we've seen this in a couple of things we watched, actually, yes.
I wonder if that's a real thing that happens, where the kid is just, detached, just coloring.
I feel like now it's probably not. He's probably not coloring, right? He's probably just
probably on his iPad.
Yeah, right.
Playing Subway Surfer.
Yeah, playing Sonic Speed Run or whatever.
Now, see, Jack Reacher could do Subway Surfer type stunts if he had to.
Just mindlessly playing Dave the Diver.
Oh man, imagine if we got a whole hour of Jack Reacher
chasing after a guy in the subway tunnels.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
good.
running back and forth, picking up coins.
Sounds great.
I should have had this guy be Mario in the Mario movie. And by be Mario, I mean rotoscope him. Give Mario his proportions.
It's perfect.
Have him, like, punch through car windows.
Big buff Mario. That's what we need. Anyway, the kid lets slip a line that I guess was like their whole thing back in the day.
Yeah.
Which, I'll be honest, it's just sort of a pretty generic... like, it's not really like a cool saying or anything. It's just like... It's, what is it? It's don't mess with...
Don't miss the 11th. Or the 110.
Yeah, it's don't mess with the special investigators.
The special investigators.
Which, like, that's not... It tracks as, like, something that a bunch of soldiers would have come up with as a thing to say. But it's not particularly insightful or, like, smart or, like, catchy.
Swanson, you're a big child actor guy, so what was your take on this child actor?
Also, that line did not
non-existent.
show up in any of the books that I read, or the Tom Cruise movie. So I think
that line doesn't show up. Interesting.
Yes.
I read the synopsis, not the synopsis. I read like the little blurb for Bad Luck and Trouble, which is what the book this is one is based on, and they say it. They say it at the end of the blurb. So I thought maybe it showed up in the book.
It is in the book, but I didn't read this one.
Oh, okay. Anyway, Keo, to answer your question, the non-existent was my opinion of this child actor. I didn't think anything of him. So I guess that's neutral. Like, he wasn't so bad that I was like, wow, this guy sucks. This kid sucks. Get this kid off of my screen.
Okay, good to know.
I feel like I should mention in one of the Jack Reacher books, he fights like an 8-foot tall man who has like a specially built house for him where everything is larger.
Why can't we get that adapted?
Wow. Well, because he's in London in that one.
Have him fight the Big Show. Anyway, so they check the office. And they look around for some stuff. They find a mailbox key or a PO box key. And they're like, "Wow, how are we gonna do this? What are we gonna do?" Throughout the episode, by the way, we're getting flashbacks to Reacher's time in the service. Most of this doesn't really. It feels like just filler to me. Maybe it lines up by the end of the season, or maybe it doesn't. But it's supposed to be character building stuff. But it's like, does it really?
It felt like filler, and it felt a little extraneous in this episode.
Yeah. There is one scene though where they're at a bar, and so I guess this bar is specifically for. What's the deal here? This bar is specifically
for. This was the officers' club.
Okay, and she's not an officer, which is why.
Yeah, she's a sergeant major.
Okay, yeah. So they have they're hanging out at the officers' club, and some guy comes in, and starts telling them that they have to go, and Jack Reacher makes it a problem essentially, and they get into listen. This is just lads getting into it, boys being boys. Okay, this is just how it is. All right, this is just what you need to, We don't actually see much of the fight because some guy just gets thrown through a window.
Oh yeah, well these guys are plebs. These guys are like level 1 entry.
Yeah, this is like
this
is like in certain role playing games when you fight an enemy on the overworld that's too weak to fight, you just touch them and you get the rewards. That's these guys.
It cuts to a guy getting thrown out a window and then Jack Reacher like stepping out of the window. And then it sort of fades to black and fades back, and there's a round of fire singing Elton John tunes. Seems a bit off, but that's fine.
Remember, this is a British guy trying to parse Americans and make fun of them.
True. So I guess he would be like, what do Americans like? Elton John? Soldiers. What do soldiers like listening to? So yeah, they're all hanging out, listening to Elton John, having a great time. And then it's like, it's one of those weird, like, oh, it was a bad dream cuts where it's like the murdered guy and he's like, why can't you save me, Reacher? But it doesn't like...
It wasn't a very good one.
It doesn't work in this context because it doesn't cut to it. It's just, the camera like sort of just walks over and he's there. Like the camera turns around and he's hanging out there. And then like the music doesn't really add any suspense to the moment or anything. It doesn't feel sudden. It just feels like it happened. And then Jack Reacher's like, whoa, I had a bad dream.
Anyways, back to Minecraft.
Yeah, so he and his pal Negley, is that her name?
It's sure enough.
All right,
close enough.
They come up with this plan, which it's an all right plan. It does sort of hinge on them being lucky enough to get the one male attendant in New York City who gives a shit about stamps. So luckily
and they mention anime.
Yeah,
anime mentioned.
Do you think they got Gojo on any of the stamps?
Yes.
I think Gojo's on at least 10 of those stamps.
And imagine getting a letter from your friend that has a Gojo official stamp on it.
Yeah, you pull him down his blindfold so you can see one of his eyes.
Oh,
Cherished
man.
item.
That'd be bad.
But yeah, she distracts this guy while Reacher tries various mail P.O. boxes before he can find which one. Of course, an old lady shows up and narcs on him.
Oh yeah, fun fact, Jack Reacher exists in the same universe as Stephen King's Under the Dome. One of the characters mentions working with Jack Reacher as a military investigator.
What an odd bit of lore, which is that Jack Reacher's the guy who walks around various cities and gets into situations, but also one of those cities cannot be accessed because a dome has blocked it off from the rest of civilization.
Yeah.
He's not overly concerned about this.
Well, he probably doesn't know about it. I feel like he doesn't keep up with the news.
Also, there is a short story where high school age Jack Reacher fights the Son of Sam.
And loses, I guess, considering...
He gets his crimes on tape and gives it to the FBI.
Wow, good
That's
job.
how they got him.
So he started his career.
So does he
He's
fight?
17 at the time.
So, like, does he meet the dog that Son of Sam was talking to?
I don't know. I'm just looking at the Wikipedia. Sorry. I'm trying to find the story with the giant man, and I can't.
You know, famously, he was convinced to kill all those people because he talked to his dog.
Yes. You're valid.
So anyway, yeah, he eventually gets into the box, and what did they find anything valuable? I don't remember.
They find a list of numbers.
That's right, yeah.
And like a list of names. I think they have to do a cipher on that.
Yeah.
But then it's all a bunch of names that start with... First name starts with A, last name starts with M.
Yeah, that's
and they gotta make
correct.
Or no, they get a computer drive that they gotta get that stuff out of first.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the passcode hint is like my greatest hero or something,
Right.
and they're guessing.
Well, no,
about-
Jack Reacher's like, who would... Things you would name a password after. And he suggests it's probably the most respected guy, and he assumes it's like a baseball player.
Right.
No, but it's him.
Turns out it's him.
There was no hint, though. It was just like password and like.
Yeah, and you only get 3 tries, and it
wasn't 3 tries. It was as many tries as he wanted, but there was a countdown.
Yeah, if it was open from a new device.
Yeah, I would simply unplug it and then have like a guy decrypt it for me.
Yeah. If only Jack Reacher had like a tech guy who was like, I don't know, stationed only at his home, couldn't leave his house. So Jack Reacher has to like spend some time delivering the laptop to him.
That would be crazy.
Maybe
Oh yeah,
he
this
gets
is
into a
after they
scuffle on the way.
unite with the sort of scummy guy who's gone straight.
Oh yeah, his O'Donnell. Yeah.
Which is like he's
Also-
got like a full party going already, like within the first episode. I don't like that.
Yeah, he's already up to like Final Fantasy VII levels of party. Like he's going to have to start switching out party members soon.
Like season 1, he had like 1 police deputy on his side, and everyone else hated his guts. At this point,
Well, listen, New York's a big city. Maybe a lot of people hate his guts. Some even call it the big city. Not me.
allegedly, some people
some-
call it the big city.
I call it the large apple.
The Joker thinks it's small.
Yeah, it's me. It's me. I'm the Joker, baby. Anyway, this is the point where he wants to get a gun, right? So we get
Yes.
we get the best scene in the episode here. This is what I've been waiting to talk about, really, which is so
He goes to church first off. Tells the priest he's looking for like a friend of the family.
his brother.
Yeah.
Which now I feel like that maybe hits a little bit more now that his brother. You've told me his brother's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why it's a little something maybe. Anyway, he's like, yeah, I've been looking for him all over the place, and the pastor's like, well, I shouldn't tell you this, but the drug dealers all gather down here at this one spot. He's like, huh, gotcha. He drives down there. And essentially, The Wire is happening down here. Listen, the show, Jack Reacher the show, is about as subtle as Jack Reacher is small. So he goes down there while they're like talking about drug deals and whatnot. He hits one dude with his car door while he's driving.
Yes.
And then hops out and quickly dismantles the other dude.
I don't know if I should spoil this, but like 2 episodes later, he comes back to beat this guy up again. So
Just so you can get more money or like more guns?
Yeah, I think.
I love that
tells
he
him to
doesn't
get a
try a
new
different
job.
person.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he gets drugs so he can plant it on a guy
Nice.
and blackmail him into giving answers. Yeah, so he goes back to the priest and gives him the rolled up drug money.
Right, it's like, what's the priest gonna do with this?
And also, you probably shouldn't be keeping the money on the corner.
Yeah, correct. Like, that seems like a bad idea. Like, if word gets out that the priest suddenly has this windfall of money, sounds like the priest is gonna get murdered.
No, I mean, like, the drug dealers, like, if you get money from the transaction, you should not be holding on to it.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Out
have
in
they
the
learned nothing
open.
from The Wire?
They
Yeah,
have a whole
also,
system for that they're not following at
one
all.
guy hands out the drugs, another guy takes the money.
Yeah, amateurs. It's amateur hour over here. Jack Reacher can smell it a mile away. That's why he targeted them. Yeah, so he,
Also,
gives
I'm
him
not
the
sure the
money.
guy who's out on the corner himself would have the gun, since if he gets pulled over by the cops, that's a firearm charge on top of trafficking.
Right. Yeah, true.
I think he was also probably carrying felony volume on him too.
Well, yeah, that's why you don't also carry the gun. You have someone else hold on to the gun.
So I'm saying, like, there's three things wrong. He's got the money, the gun, and felony volume all at the same time.
Yeah, you would probably have the money guy holding the gun.
Yeah.
But, no.
And you would have him stand a bit away. In case
you would not have
happens.
him on the same block as you, on the same exact location. Anyway, great.
So if you're ever dealing drugs, keep that in mind.
Yeah, listen.
Though honestly, Law and Order won't be around for much longer.
Well, I feel like if Law and Order is not around, drugs probably aren't in fresh supply.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll find new drugs. Injecting Pepsi directly into our veins to get a high.
Yeah, that seems safe.
They're calling it Pilk. A mixture of Pepsi and milk.
Jack Reacher shakes his head. Goes to hit the Pilk dealer with his car door.
Pilk spills everywhere.
He basically clotheslines that one drug dealer.
Yeah. It's a great scene. He
without running. Yeah.
But yeah, he gets his gun, he gets ready, he's all ready for whatever's to come. And we do see what's to come because this killer guy we've been following for a bit throughout the episode too, and sort of like
Anthony Mackie. AM. Yeah. We don't know his real name, but that's what his alley.
We see him at the end of the episode do a throat. You can tell he's really skilled because he slits a guy's throat, but we see no blood. There's no blood when his throat gets slit, and then there's no blood on the ground when he's dying.
And also, he really likes comic books.
Yeah, he's a real aficionado, some would say. He's willing to kill over them, so obviously he really loves comics. That's what happened, right? He killed over it.
Yeah, he killed a guy so he could get the limited holographic Spider-Man from 1999. Nobody told him about.
Anyway,
comic
it's
bubble.
The episode ends with it being like, this is the guy Jack Reacher has to fight. Can big guy stop guy with lots of knives? Answer is probably. And that's kind of the end of the episode there. Unless I'm missing anything crucial.
That's the end.
And hey, listen, folks, and that's the end. What are our final thoughts here on season 2 of Reacher?
I love watching this big lug just throw himself across space and just demolish people with his raw power like he's a human truck.
But what if that only happened for very small moments in the episode, then the rest of the stuff had to happen?
Well, it's kind of fun seeing him investigate. I mean, like I said, I don't care for the cast dynamic this season. But it's not like a deal killer for me.
Keo?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Fine. It had Jack Reacher. He's a big guy, but a lot of this stuff is pretty.
I liked season 1 better.
A lot of stuff is pretty rote to me. I've seen a lot of this before.
Yeah, I was harsh earlier when I said it was NCIS. You're right. It's not NCIS. It's more like Burn Notice or like a USA sort of.
Yeah.
Put it on in the afternoon type of show. And I think that's a better show. Like, that's more watchable. Because this is not an unwatchable show. This isn't boring. This isn't, Granddad's got it on while he's falling asleep.
Afternoon, though, I mean, I feel like when he's hitting people, you do want to pay attention to that.
Oh, of course. Just like
that
when
is
stuff's
something to
blowing up
behold.
in Burn Notice, you want to watch that. But it's the in-betweens where you're, scrolling mindlessly through social media.
Yeah, and like I said, season 1's better because it's a bunch of people who don't know Jack Reacher discovering the existence of Jack Reacher, and that's fun to see.
Yeah. I also feel like the flashbacks eat up a lot of valuable Jack Reacher beating the shit out of people time.
Yes.
No, screw these flashbacks.
Yeah, I don't...
There's less flashbacks in the first season, and there's no flashbacks in the Tom Cruise movie.
We've talked about it before on the pod, but I feel like often for these shows, flashbacks are just like a crutch that is used to stretch out the entirety of the programming. Make sure they can fill the episode count.
Yes.
I feel like...
And these flashbacks are probably going to tie into, like, whodunit, but still.
Right. I need them to be compelling on their own while also tying into something.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think I'll be the first to go here. I'll say it. I think I'm going to give it a tune out.
I'm going to say tune in. But only because I like the first season so much and I like the Tom Cruise movie.
It's down to you, Keo.
I'm going to give it a light tune in because I feel like I've been tuning out on everything.
Keo was smiling and nodding.
Keo's feeling the holiday spirit, the lingering effects of the holiday spirit in his mind. And
when Jack Reacher punched through that car window, Keo's heart grew 3 times that day.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. That was fun.
All right, well, that's a tune in on Reacher. Just on season 2, though.
Even though I like the other stuff better.
No, it's a tune in on Reacher.
Yeah. And don't watch the 2014 Tom Cruise Jack Reacher movie, the sequel. That's bad.
So the first one's good, is what I'm hearing.
The first one's good. The second one falls off.
Okay, interesting.
Because the first one made money, so producers got their hands on the script.
Okay. Well, listen, that's about it for this week's episode of the show, guys. As for what we're doing next week, well, the year has come to an end, so we're going to be looking back on it. The year of too many TV shows. How many did we watch? Not nearly as many as you would think.
And we will also be reviewing each protagonist to see if they could beat Gojo.
Spoilers, I don't think any could. But we'll find out for sure next week. Until then, keep watching. Bye. It's over.
Domain expansion.
Hey folks, it's time for the TV Tuners Fact of the Week. Did you know that Stairmaster was part of the Special Investigations team, but they just never actually showed him?
They couldn't get Gilbert Gottfried for